Hey there, my name is Shreya and you're watching my YouTube channel. On today's episode, I will be talking about everything that I knit in 2024. My name is Shreya. I am based in the Bay Area, California, where I live with my husband and my son. And I have been knitting since January of 2021. And I have been spinning since December of 2023. So I'm a pretty baby spinner, but I'm also not the most experienced knitter in the sense that I still have a lot of things I haven't done yet when it comes to knitting. But I consider myself fairly intermediate at this point. I've made a lot of different constructions of garments, and the things I enjoy to knit the most are garments. I primarily knit for myself, and now I have also been knitting a little bit for my son. And that's basically everything you need to know about me when it comes to my crafting. And I'm a lover of all yarn. Doesn't matter if it's hand-dyed or if it's commercial, I love it all. I'm a big fan of everything, which makes it really difficult because I seem to have collected quite a bit of yarn, and I always want to cast things on, and I always want to have new projects to go. And yeah, that's it. Another thing about me is that I test knit a lot. I test knit primarily for a couple of designers now, but you'll notice in everything that I knit, most of the stuff that I have finished this year are test knits. Towards the end of the episode, I might talk a little bit about my goals for 2025, but for now, let's just get into everything that I have made in chronological order. So I am only going to show my garments. I didn't really knit that many accessories this year. I think I did 2 pairs of socks, and last night I cast on and cast off this cute fish pouch, which it'll be on my Instagram, but I'll just talk about the garments today. So some basic things to know about me before we get into the garments that I made. I am 6 feet tall. I have a 42-inch bust, which has kind of fluctuated throughout the year because I was nursing for the majority of this year. So if you have nursed before, you'll know that your chest size will change anywhere between 4 and 6 inches or more. I don't know, it depends on you. So I was nursing for the majority of the year, so my chest size has kind of fluctuated, but I think right now I'm around a 42-inch bust. And the reason I included my height is because I typically will have to lengthen all my garments from the underarm down for the body length as well as sleeve length. Typically, I think my sleeves are usually, if the pattern recommends 15 inches, I am 20. That's usually what it ends up being for me. So that should be everything. That should cover all of what you need to know. And without any other distractions, we'll get into everything that I made. I will be doing a try on for all of them so you can see how they fit on my body as well. So stay tuned. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch to a knitting needle microphone a la Jonathan Days and go from here. The first sweater that I finished this year is my Doppio sweater. This is a pattern by Seunghee or Seunghee Knits on Instagram. And this is held with 3 strands of yarn together, 2 fingering and 1 lace weight. I knit mine out of Little Wing Fibers, fingering base, and the color is Save the Day, with the corresponding mohair from Little Wing Fibers, as well as Sorella yarn silk sock in the color Golden Hour, which I think was a summer tonal from the previous year. So as you can see, mine is a super lightly marled, beautiful, soft, subtle variegation. I didn't alternate skeins because I didn't feel like doing that with 3 strands held together. As you can see, it's a little bit cropped. I'm wearing my fairly high-waisted pants right now, and this is my belly button, and it basically hits at my belly button. But I knew I was going to be wearing this with high-waisted pants only, And as you can see, the sleeves kind of, if I pull them down a little bit, they go all the way up to the middle of my palm. And I also did the modification where you seam or you mattress stitch the side seam. You can kind of see it on the inside here. Yeah. So I did that as well. Because it's such a bulky weight pattern, I wanted to just have that extra reinforcement to make it not stretch out over time. I don't really wear this as often as I would like to. I think now in December, January is the time for me to wear this the most because it is actually cold. But I noticed that the mohair flies around quite a bit. And if I wear it around my baby, he will inhale it. So that's why I haven't really worn it that much. I do wear it when I'm going out without him, but I just haven't had a chance to. And it was after I finished this that I was like, I need to maybe move to some other colors because I tend to knit with this like yellowy, pinky color quite a bit. The yarns are beautiful and they all marl together really lovely. But I think like for the Doppio, if I made another one, I would probably go with like a bolder combination next time of maybe like a suri, because the suri will create more of like a matte look versus the mohair makes it look really shiny. And that combined with the Sorella silk sock, this is a very shiny finished object compared to what I've seen other Doppios look like. That being said, I would definitely knit this again. And I think I only used like 2 skeins of every single yarn that I had. If I used suri, I'd probably use 3 of the suri. So I have 1 whole skein left of every other yarn still. So I'm like, okay, what do I do with this now? But that's a later me problem. That's a scrap busting me problem. Not a huge issue at the moment. So I forgot to mention this with the Doppio, but I knit the size 4, and typically, unless I state otherwise, I usually knit the 4th or the 42-inch bust size. So if I forget to mention it, that's what it is. I'll try to do titles throughout the whole thing, but if you edit videos, you know how tedious they can be after some time. So yeah. So next, I'm wearing a Racerback Tank. This is for an upcoming book pattern by Joan. I don't think it's a secret because she said we can post on Instagram and all that. So this is a Racerback Tank. I don't know what the official name is going to be. And it's really cute. Oh my gosh, you can't see it. Let's go back here. Let's turn. So I don't know if you can tell, but it has that cute racerback look in the back. And again, this is really cropped. She didn't really want any length modification, so where it ends is where it ends for me. I think it's like 1.5 inches above my belly button, but since it's like a tank that you would maybe wear for working out, it wouldn't really be as much of a problem. I've worn this a little bit so far, but I haven't really had a chance to, just because after finishing it, I realized it might not be my style. And I also was making this when I was kind of nursing quite a bit. So it worked with one of my Racerback nursing bras, but this is typically not a bra that I would wear. So these types of like silhouettes where like they come in quite a bit, like I just don't wear bras that are usually like this. I switched my bra just so you could kind of see how it works. I like it, but I don't know if I like would wear it that much. Also, it's a wool tank top, and when I would wear tank tops, it's really hot, and I just think I would sweat through it right away. So maybe I just need to wear it more as like a layering piece in the winter. The yarn that I used is a 2-ply merino nylon 80/20 base from a dyer that doesn't dye anymore. I don't really have a positive experience with receiving the yarn. However, the knitting experience was fine. So if you like an 80/20 superwash merino nylon base, this is basically that. And I think like you might be able to notice there's like a dye lot change like right here somewhere, but it's kind of looking really variegated on camera anyways. So it is what it is. These are folded edges and you just sew them down. Very easy pattern. Didn't take me very long to knit at all. And maybe my name will be in a book because I knit this one. So we'll see. But yeah, this is, again, Racerback Tank by Joan. I think I used like 600 or 700 yards. I had a bit left over. So yeah, look out for it maybe this year. I don't know when it's going to come out. We'll find out later. The next project that I finished this year was this super oversized, chunky Aran weight cardigan. This is the Gaon cardigan Aran weight edition by Soomin or Dal Podre on Instagram. And I did the fingering weight version the year before, and that's one of my most worn pieces in my wardrobe ever. So I decided I would test the Aran weight one as well. The fit of the Aran weight one is quite a bit different for me than the fit of the fingering weight one. And that might be because of yarn choice as well. I held Nutiden double in the color Onska, and I just have to stand up and show you. So this one is not seamed, it's top down. The fingering weight version was seamed and knit in pieces, but this one's top down, which was an immediate draw. And as you can see, it has like a super, super oversized, cozy, kind of like house coat or like house blanket vibe to it. I like it, but I don't know, I have like mixed feelings about it. I like it because it's cozy. However, it's not necessarily outside wearable. And the reason is because it kind of tense up in the back. Like it looks uneven. Like I knit this flat, but the way that the shoulders kind of fall, they should fall back here. But the weight of my cardigan makes it pull forward. And I don't know if this was quite an issue on the fingering weight one, or maybe because of the lightweight nature of fingering weight, it doesn't bother me as much. The other thing is that there is a sleeve cap, but the drop shoulder is at my elbow. So why is there a sleeve cap? Like I don't get it. But it's cozy and it feels good. And I'm not the type to frog Nutiden because I don't hate myself. That is something I would do if I hated myself. The other nice thing about this one is that the button band is as you go, so you don't really have to pick it up at the end. And my cute buttons are from Pigeon Wishes. I really love them a lot. There's only 3, and I think they're really cute. Would I make this again? No. But I would definitely make the fingering weight version again. That one is a beautiful staple that I'll always love. Or if I did do the Aran weight one, I probably wouldn't do it with unspun yarn because unspun holds like a little bit of structure and doesn't have the same drape as like maybe the Aran weight that was recommended with the pattern. So just some food for thought. I still liked it. I think though, since I was test knitting it, it was quite a bit of a slog. And it was also during a time where I was like just getting back to work and I was really stressed out. So maybe I just like, it was too much to do at a time where I was already so busy. So yeah, it's fine. I wear it now. It takes up a ton of space in my wardrobe though. It's like that thick when I fold it up, and it used like 600 grams of unspun, which is crazy because every unspun sweater I've knit so far has usually finished at like 400 or 450. I've never gotten past that. So yeah, again, mixed feelings about this one, but I'm not going to frog it. I'm not going to get rid of it because it was a labor of love. And I do like the unspun. Like I like the color of this a lot. So now we're getting into the summer garments. This is the Weekday Tee by Aimee Sher. Aimee Sher makes on Instagram. I am a Ko-Fi, well not Ko-Fi anymore because now they have their own yarn shop and their own website. So I have my membership directly to Aimee through the website. But I'm a member and I support them and all the work that they do for size inclusivity and just better design ethics and everything. So this is the Weekday Tee. I test knit this and I knit the size 4, and I used Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the color Sunflower. I really love this t-shirt. The hand experience of knitting with Sunflower was a little bit difficult, but I love how the drape is. I love how it looks. I love the final feel of it. I made some mistakes when I was knitting this, not in the lace, not in the body, but in the number of underarm stitches. For some reason, I only cast on half the number needed for the underarm. So my underarm is a little bit tight, coupled with the fact that the Weekday Tee has a shallower raglan than many of the other patterns. But I really like it. It looks kind of like baby dollish on me, and I like that. I like that it's a little bit fitted. I did add an extra raglan repeat after I finished the increases because my arm wouldn't have fit through the hole at all. And I think that's probably because I didn't gauge swatch. Sorry, Aimee. Because usually I am like spot on with Aimee's gauge, but I didn't gauge swatch with the new base, which was Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. This is the first time I ever worked with it. So yeah, let me get up and show you. So once again, it is a little bit cropped on me, but not by much. Like if I let it hang, this is the actual outfit I wear it with. These pants are kind of my go-to for everything. You'll see it in a lot of my photos as well. I just wear these wide leg, like trousery pants from Abercrombie. They're the Sloan pants, if you know, you know. Anyways, so my belly button's here. It lands like a little bit right below that. And the sleeve is, I think, only like 6 or 7 rows after you split from the raglan plus the ribbing. So yeah, that's this. I would definitely make this one again. I think if I did a second one, I'd probably want to do a longer sleeve, as well as maybe even more of a deeper yoke. Like maybe I would just size up at that point because I want a slightly bigger fit. And I would maybe not use pure silk, but maybe I would use a linen blend, not Pearl Soho linen quill, but probably maybe something from Big Little Yarn Co. She has a really nice wool linen fingering base. I think that would be really lovely in this as well. And that's at Aimee's shop. You can go find it at aimeeshermakes.com. Not sponsored. So up next, I have my Slightly Sassy V. This is another pattern by Aimee Sher Makes, and I knit mine using Moondrake Co. Fua Fua in the color Electric Barbie. I think this was a Flock exclusive colorway from 2023, and I asked my friend Sharon to get it because I wanted to make this. And then my friend Ariel also got a color from the Moondrake booth, and she made the same thing and I made the same thing, and we should have both worn it and taken photos together at Flock last year, but I just like didn't think about it at that time. But anyways, this is mine. I love her. She is so cute. The only problem is that my I-cord V-neck did not cinch in quite as much as I would have liked it to. I think it's because the Moondrake is kind of a little bit like a boucle feel. So when you're pulling on it, it doesn't pull as tight, or it just generally has like a looser gauge. I'm so sorry if my light is coming in and out. I think the sun is diving back and forth between a cloud. But this is the Slightly Sassy. Oh yeah, let's go back. So the V-neck is a little bit wide on me for sure. It's not just slightly sassy, it's like very sassy if in certain angles, but I will get up and show you. So once again, it's kind of, again, it's like a little bit above my belly button, but I would wear this how I'm wearing it right now. You'll kind of notice it flares out quite a bit, and I think that's the nature of the yarn and not the pattern itself. I think if I did this one again, I definitely want to make this again. I would do it with something that has a little more memory. The Moondrake itself feels beautiful, luxurious, gorgeous. However, it is a little bit finicky when you're trying to bind off and things like that. And I bound off kind of loosely because I wasn't sure how it was going to be when I pulled it. And anyways, that's where we're at. But I love this. This is like the neon pink blouse of my dreams. I have some other neon pink in my stash that I'm going to use at some point. The only mod I need to make is just run an elastic through the I-cord to cinch it in just a little bit, because it also falls off my shoulders. I'm still wearing that Racerback bra, but even if I was wearing a regular one, the bra would still be showing. So that's the only thing I would fix. I could see myself having a short sleeve and a full sleeve version of this one as well. So yeah, really love it. So this is my city top. This is a test knit I did for Tori Yu, and she has a city tank top and she also has a city dress. And I did the top. I have plans to make the dress at some point in the future. I don't know when. This is a really cute tank top. I knit this using Juniper Moon Stargazer yarn in the color Aries, which I do not think it exists anymore. I had 3 skeins of it that I bought on discount from Fillory Yarn in San Jose. Like, it was the first yarn I ever bought from a local yarn store, and I had never used it because I didn't know it was labeled as sport, but the yardage was telling me it was a worsted, and this pattern was in sport weight yarn, but I just used that. So my gauge is a little bit thicker, and this is a little bit on the thicker side, but that's fine. It works. It looks nice. Let me get up and show you. So again, a little bit on the cropped side. It's really cute though. I do need to be careful about what bra I wear because I don't really like to wear strapless bras. I prefer bras with straps. So I'm wearing my Racerback still with this. The other thing about this one is that there's no clear front or back. Like, they're both the same for the tank top. I think for the dress it's a little bit different, but for the tank top, front and back are the same. So I just picked the side that I like a little bit more when I wear it in the front. This is cute. I haven't really gotten much wear out of it because the Stargazer yarn is really itchy. So I've washed this a couple times and I've put conditioner in it each time, and it helped soften the yarn over time. This one might be something I give away, but at the same time, I don't really know anyone who would take care of it in a woolly way. Like, the people I give stuff away to in my life are not yarny people, so I don't really know if they would hand wash it. And I think this would get felted really easily. So I don't know. We'll see. I wear it occasionally, but it's not something that I am drawn to in my wardrobe. But I do think if I had it in a different color or a different yarn, I think it would be fine. A modification I would make is probably like widen this a little bit. I don't mind like a wider strap here, but then the problem would be is that this thickness would change as well. So I don't know. It has some room for changes and I do like it. It's cute, but right now it's not super working for me. I am keeping my city top on and moving on to the next finished object, which is my Calm Down cardigan. This is by Lily Kate Makes, or Lily Kate France, and I made this with my Seattle friends as well as my Bay Area knitting friends, and this was our almost year-long knit-along for Flock this year, and we all made them and we all took photos in them, and it was really cute, and we all basically made different colors of the rainbow. So that was really fun because we were all just like brightly colored together. I'll put some photos here if I remember. I made mine out of woolly knit British wool 4-ply held double, and I love it. I made a size bigger than I usually do, so I did a size 5 because I wanted this nice oversized fit, but not as oversized as my Gaon cardigan. Let me get up and show you. It really is one of the best cardigans I've ever seen on Instagram. I mean, you already know about like the petite knit champagne cardigan and April cardigan and things like that, but this one really has so many beautiful details that I don't know if other patterns do it. I also think Lily Kate is like the short row queen. In the double knit button band, she has short rows so that the double knit curves so easily. And this, just her instructions are chef's kiss. So this is that. It was a slog. It took me like until 2 weeks before flock to finish it. And my buttons, again, are pigeon wishes. So cute. There's supposed to be like a notched V, but I don't think you can really tell on mine because it's already big. Yeah, it's not as like drastic as other people's that I've seen. And then there's like a little rib detail on the sleeve. That's from the saddle shoulder and it goes all the way down, but I don't know if you can tell. I don't even know where it is. Oh, there it is. So I did everything to pattern. I didn't have to adjust anything, not even sleeve length. Like I did everything completely as is. And if I made it again, I would just make a size smaller. I love her. I wear her often. Even though it's like this bright cherry red color, I still wear it year round whenever I can. And it's just really cozy. Since it's outerwear, the British wool is not terribly itchy, but I feel like my skin has become more used to having a little bit of that itch factor. So I'm totally fine with it now. I think I just suck it up. Like it bothers me sometimes, but also it doesn't bother me. Like I'm just like, it's fine. I like it. It's cute. So yeah, that's my Calm Down cardigan. It is a statement. This year I was all about picking things out of my usual pinks and off-whites and all that. So yeah. All right. So I also did 2 sample knits this year. One of them was the same pattern that I'm wearing right now, which is the Skyline Tee by Tori Yu. I knit this out of Through the Wardrobe Yarn Company, and this is Diamond of the First Water. And the color I knit for Selena is in Pirouette. So I'll find the photo from us wearing it at Flock, but I knit hers for her. Duh. I knit hers in like June of this year or last year and finished it, and I was going to hand it over to her at Flock. And then my friend group decided we're going to also make the Skyline Tee for Flock. So I made the second one in her yarn because I had it at the same time. So this is yarn from the Bridgerton collection. And Tori has this really cute skyline detail. I made the Skyline pullover last year, so I'm not unfamiliar with this construction. It's super cute, saddle shoulder, drop shoulder, really easy knit. It was unfortunately knit at a time of year where I'm extremely busy. So I was just like stressed the last like couple weeks before Flock because I needed to finish it super fast. I think I made it a little shorter than I would have preferred to. It's like belly button crop. But let me get up and show you where it is. I think like the nature of my life is that I'm just always going to be wearing high-waisted everything. I'm not a low-waisted pant girly, especially postpartum. It's just not going to happen for me. So this is that. It's cute. I wear her a lot. She has pilled quite a bit under the arm. This is a merino silk base, 50% merino, 50% silk. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful. Love it. But pills. And that's what you expect when you wear something a lot. It's going to pill. I think you can kind of see that. But it's a good sign. It's a good sign to wear your things and let them pill and take care of them. It's totally fine. So that's my Skyline Tee. Would knit again, 100%. Might do it again this year. We'll see. Now we are done with the summer knits and we are in Sweaterland once again. So I have 5 more things to talk about today. This is the Metropolitan Pullover by Tori Yu. And this is knit out of 1 strand of Surrey and 1 strand of unspun Nugedin. The Surrey is Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. in the color Pirouette. And the second strand is Nugedin in the color Vilgot. So this is it. It is a very open gauge type of sweater. And using the unspun and the Surrey, it almost feels like a cloud. I love it. It's really, really cute, like rolled hem. And then, but it's not like rolled in a super rolled way. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't love rolled hems, if I'm being honest with you, but I like this one because it doesn't roll that much. Then the sleeves are I-cord and the body is also I-cord. So let me get up and show it to you. I knit the size 4. I finished this really quickly. I could see myself doing this again, maybe not using unspun. Maybe I would use fingering weight plus suri again because it does have that open gauge, kind of like how the Lento has it. And this one is a little bit longer than my usual, but I like it. It's good to have things that are not cropped. And I need to tell myself that when I get tired of knitting things because I need to have some stuff that is not just like hitting right at my waistband. I wear this one, I think I finished it in September or October, and I've worn it a couple times. I don't think I've worn it a ton yet, but it's because it also sheds a lot. The suri sheds quite a bit, and sometimes unspun also does shed. So, in this particular one, Vilgot, it does. But I like it. And then it's cute. I sometimes just throw it in with like dresses and stuff, and I just throw it over my dress when it gets cold at night. I don't know if you could tell, but I kind of only knit from like the same 3 or 4 designers this year. And when you like something, you just kind of stick to it. You don't really go out of your comfort zone. That was me this year. I also, just to take a quick break from all the trying on, I also saw myself test knitting a lot more than I had kind of intended to earlier on. I found myself not really able to self-motivate when it came to knitting other than having test knit deadlines or having like group knit deadlines. And you can kind of see that through everything that I finished this year. I think there's only maybe 2 things in the entire pile that were like things I wanted to make and things that were not like a group knit. There's only 2 things. It was a hard year for me, especially with having a newborn and then having a baby, and then now I have a toddler. It was just a lot of adjustments, and I think when it came to my knitting, I appreciated the structure that test knitting and having friends that were knitting the same thing provided me, and having like those goals kind of allowed me to just be like, you know what, like I have this goal, so I need to make sure I finish this. And it was fun for me, but at the same time, like I don't want to do that moving into 2025. Like I want to just knit on things whenever I feel like it and not feel like, oh, I have this deadline, so I have to knit only on this thing. Like it would be probably better for me to knit things whenever I wanted to and not stress about deadlines and not push my body beyond what it's like ready to do. Because I did notice this year that I started having a little bit of wrist and elbow pain, and that has caused me to start taking a lot more breaks when it came to my crafting. So just a little side note before I continue trying on the rest of my makes from this year. My next finished sweater is the Hibernate Pullover by Aimee Sher Makes. This again was a test knit, and it's a DK weight version of the Slightly Sassy V. So this one has 2x2 rib finishes instead of like I-cords or just 1x1 rib like the other one does. And I really love this one. I love it so much. Aimee does compound raglans for all of their patterns, most of their patterns. I think some of the older ones are regular, easy to follow raglans, but most of them are compound raglans, and they create this beautiful like S shape that makes the raglan shape fit so much better. This is fingering plus mohair. I held the same mohair throughout the entire project. It was this really hairy mohair that I got from like an estate sale. It was super uncomfortable to work with. It was like the core didn't feel silk. I think the core was like a nylon core or something instead. But it was this nice dark blue color that I thought would marl really nicely with the stripes that I had. So my first stripe is from Woolly Knit in the the fingering stripe is woolly knit plata. And then this is Anzula Fibers Frisia, I think. Then this is knitted wit in it's like a French name. I don't know what it is, but I think it has something like sack of flowers or something like that. And then finally, the last one is Holst Super Soft in the color, not charcoal, graphite. I keep calling it charcoal, but it turns out it was actually graphite the whole time. So that is the last stripe. And I just repeated that striping sequence throughout the whole thing. My edging on my hands and my V is the Holst Super Soft cone, but the body, I did the Anzula Fibers color. So I really, really love my V-neck. Honestly, when I was knitting it, I had the worst time because the Holst Super Soft hurts my hands like no other. So that's maybe a sign that I should not knit with as much Holst in the future. I have since gifted the cone to my friend, and she loves it. She's almost done with the cone anyways. So this is my Hibernate Pullover, size 4, really cute, would make multiple times, a la Knit and Grace and Edible Thoughts Makes. I think they both made like 2 or 3 each. You should go watch their YouTube channels if you don't already. They're amazing. But yeah, that's this. I think, so since it's fingering weight plus mohair, you could do it with a DK yarn, or you could do another fingering plus suri, fingering plus mohair. Like, there's so many different combinations. And, yeah, that's it. I love it. Aimee's patterns are like always 100% for me. And, when I finished this, I was originally going to just give it away, but then I started wearing it and it wore down on me. But that being said, it's not next to Skin Soft because of this awful, awful, awful mohair. It's floating around somewhere in the Bay Area because I put it up for donation. I gave it to my friend Serena, who dropped it off at Busy Work, and they have like a yarn library or something where you can just give away scraps or whatever. So it's there. It's somewhere in the East Bay, maybe. Someone else can have it. I'm done with it. That's it. That's the story of that mohair. Up next, we have the Wayfarer Raglan. This is by Liv from Woodlands Knits. I knit the Wayfarer Tee in 2023, and she was doing an updated test knit for an updated pattern, for an updated version of this pattern. And I decided I was going to test it. It has there's 3 collar options. One is like a crew neck, one is a double folded neckband, and one is like a longer mock neck. And I opted to do the mock neck version. I use Neutroden Held Double. This is in the color, it's like a natural black, but it's really like a very dark chocolate brown. The color is Trada. I don't know if that's exactly how you say it. I didn't look it up before filming, so I'll just write it somewhere here, probably over here. So yeah, this is one of my favorite sweaters of this year. I did knit this to pattern. I might have even extended the arms a little bit, like the sleeves, just so that they fit me better. And the body goes down a nice length. It goes down to like my high hip, and I just love it. I love it so much. It is getting a little bit pilly, which is fine because I've worn it a lot since I finished it. This is the kind of sweater I just throw on over all my outfits, and I really, really, really like the color. I didn't expect myself to like browns as much as I do, but now that I'm seeing it on me, I'm like, chef's kiss once again. So would I make this one again? Yes. And also I think Woodlands Knits does a lot of patterns for unspun yarn. So if you're ever looking for a way to use your unspun, this Wayfarer Raglan would be the one. And it's also super easy to knit up. It's fairly straightforward. Short rows, like cast on, short rows, raglan, done. I mean, body, 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 sleeve, 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 decrease, 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 then done. But it's fairly simple and straightforward. So this is a repeat for me. This is like probably number I don't know. Is it my favorite? I don't know. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about which knit is my favorite from this year, but it's up there. All right. Next, we have the 1703 sweater by Lily Kate Makes. Again, another test knit that I did for Lily. And I think this is named after the cottage she purchased, which was built in 1703. Super cute. This pattern is held triple. And what I did was I have 4 skeins of this hand-dyed yarn that I had purchased a long time ago from Sookie Mountain Fibers, I think, on Etsy, and the colorway name was Calcifer, and it's a super variegated colorway in the skein. It has like yellow and red and orange and like a burnt orange color. And I think on its own it would have been way too like micro stripey, so I held it double, plus I added a strand of woolly knit British wool 4-ply fingering in the color cinnamon brown. And I think it really toned down how like stripy it was going to go. And the finishing, so like the collar, the sleeves, and the body ribbing, I held the woolly knit cone triple. I was really worried originally that I was going to be playing yarn chicken because I started kind of like doubting that I was going to have enough for the sleeves. So I kind of maybe cropped the body just a little bit. I'm not sure. Compared to like Lily Kate's image of hers was like like a high hip or like even lower than that. Mine is just, it hits right here on the hip. And the sleeves are kind of a little bit bracelet length, but it's not the end of the world if it's a bracelet length. It's fairly warm because it's 3 strands held together, but it's nice. It's a very nice autumnal sweater. I finished it in autumn, and so I could just wear it right away, and it was very, very festive, especially around Thanksgiving. I like it a lot. And I don't know what I would have done with the yarn otherwise, so I'm really glad that I found a use for it, because it was honestly on the chopping block if I didn't use it that year. So yeah, and then you can kind of see the variegation. There is a little bit of pooling here and there. Like there's a lot of yellow that lines up together here. And I think on the back also it kind of does, or you can see on the sleeve, but it's fine. It's like, again, when you're holding so many strands of things together, do you really want to keep alternating skeins? No. So it's what it is. And it's handmade, so if it pools, it pools. Like, no big deal. Would I make this again? I don't know, maybe. I would have to have the right combination of yarn to do it again. And maybe I would just, I don't know. I like it and the fit is nice, but I don't know. There's something about it where I'm like, I would, but I also like would need to be under the right circumstances for me to do it again. So I also feel like I have a lot of these bulkier weight sweaters now, and I really feel like the sweet spot of me wearing things a lot is on like a 4mm gauge or like a 3 or 2.75mm gauge. So like basically fingering to DK. These like worsted bulky onwards are like not really things that I wear all that often. So I think it might just be better to kind of stick to that sweet spot so that I can get more wear out of it. Next, I have the Biscuit Slipover by Bridget of BZB Knits. And this was my first time doing a pattern of Bridget's, and it's also my first time doing like brioche. And I did syncopated brioche. I made a lot of mistakes on this, but I don't think they're noticeable, and I really am proud of myself for pushing myself to do a new technique. So this was knit with Pearl Soho linen quill held double. I'm going to come a little close so you can see that texture. and it's just really, really cute, and it's really squishy. Since it's a slipover, I think it is intended to be a little bit of like a crop. She intended for it to be over t-shirts, long sleeves, dresses, things like that. However, when I finished it, I really thought it was like a cute baby doll tee, especially on me. It has almost negative ease around my chest, and I did lengthen this from her original pattern. I lengthened it like 2 repeats, which was like 2 inches, but it's fairly cropped on me still. However, as I said, I really like it. I have a split hem on it as well. It's knit flat, and then you seam it up at the end and then do the collar. You don't have to do any finishings on the armhole or anything because you do them as you go. And so when I seamed it, I just chose to seam it at that point on each side. I really like it, but I just haven't had a chance to wear it yet because I think I will probably be wearing this more like a t-shirt rather than a slipover. And I think this one in particular would feel fairly bulky if I had stuff under it because it is a bit of a tighter fit on me. Yeah, it was fun. It has not deterred me away from brioche, and I kind of had to learn how to fix brioche as well because I dropped stitches a few times. I dropped yarn overs. You can kind of see if you come close, you'll see points where they're just like bars of yarn that are yarn overs that have been forgotten about, but it's fine. The linen of the linen quill kind of masks all those mistakes. I think I forgot to mention the color. This is lychee pink. I had originally bought it for a half and half triangles wrap, but the color lychee pink did not go with the color I had intended it to go for. So it was just sitting in stash and not really having any plans. So I'm glad I got to use her up. And I had like a ball that big left at the end of it. So I think I got everything I could out of this yarn, and I'm really glad that I challenged myself. This was really nice. So that's the last thing I knit for myself this year, but as I mentioned earlier, I did 2 sample knits this year. The second sample that I did was for Little Fiber Co., and it is the Ballard Pullover by Sari Nordland. I knit it using her new woolen spun merino DK in the color chiffon. It's super cute. I think she'll be doing a cookware collection, and you'll see photos of that later. But that was the last sample that I knit this year, and it really made me want to make a Ballard pullover for myself. That was really fun because I have never done all over cables, and the Ballard pullover cables are really, really, really easy. So that was a really enjoyable experience. I love Little Fiber Co. I love Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. Like, I would not sample or test knit for people or designers I don't enjoy doing things for. And so I would love to do it again for them. Same with the people I'm doing test knits for. I just absolutely love their designs, and I love their work, and I love how they treat their testers. So for those reasons, like, I would probably do test knits for everyone that So for the rest of the video, I'm going to be wearing my Wayfarer, which I decided is actually my favorite knit from 2024. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about my goal setting and my planning for 2025 and what I'd like to do moving forward this year. So I test knit so much in 2024 to the point where I think like 90% of the things that I finished this year were either test knits or sample knits. And I would like to move away from doing testing and not say no to all tests, because I just don't think that's possible for me. If there's something I really love and I want to make and I have the yarn to make it, I'm going to just go for it. But I think I would like to move towards working through my queue and using the yarn in my stash for its intended purpose. I buy things with a plan like 99% of the time. I don't just buy yarn willy-nilly. I usually buy it thinking of, I'm going to use this to make this pattern, I'm going to use this to do that. And because of which, I would like to actually start working through my queue and really loving and cherishing the yarn for its intended purpose. And this is something that I saw Emily Curtis do in 2024, and I really want to do the same thing for myself. I think it would just be really nice to have less stash. It would be nice to use up things that have been sitting in here for a long time, and if I really feel like I'm not gonna get to it, I think it's time to start saying bye to some stuff in my stash and destashing it and reselling it, because I just don't want to have things forever. Like, I want to actually use it. And at this point, I feel like I have plenty of sweaters to rotate through, and I will continue to make sweaters, but I'm also okay giving away sweaters that are not seeing as much wear in my wardrobe. This year, I gave away 3 sweaters in my wardrobe, 3 of like the first couple of sweaters that I made. I gave one away to my husband's grandmother, one to my mother-in-law, and one to one of my sister-in-laws. And that felt really good because they get a lovely hand knit. I don't have something in my wardrobe anymore, but I still get to give it to someone that will love and cherish the thing that I made. And usually it fits all of them. I think my sister-in-law got a very V-neck from me, and it's oversized on her, but she really likes that oversized feel. So I might end up giving away things that I'm not wearing that much, and that's okay. I don't really like frogging my finished knitwear, to be honest, because I just feel like it's really such a hassle for me to frog something once it's already been bound off and blocked and everything. So I would rather just give something away that's finished than frog it and reclaim the yarn, unless it was something like the Moondrake Fua Fua. But I honestly don't think I would ever frog that. I don't hate myself. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to work towards this year. I want to spend a little bit less money, but instead of spending money on the future experience, enjoy the present experience of working with what I have. And then when it comes to my fiber, I have acquired quite a bit of fiber the past year. So I'd like to see myself doing a sweater spin. I would like to see myself just enjoying different fibers more and more. I would like to process a fleece this year. I have one in my garage that is waiting for warmer days before I start soaking it and scouring it. And yeah, I love yarn. I love knitting. I love working with fiber. I love it all. And I just want to enjoy that process even more this year. But yeah, those are my goals. I think they're manageable as long as I just avoid Instagram, avoid the sales, avoid the mailers, don't look at anything. We'll see. It's more of not saying no forever, but just saying no right now and enjoying what I have and getting to it again later. When it comes to this channel, I really have a hard time like prioritizing filming, just because I really want to, whatever free time I have, I just want to knit or craft or spin, and sitting down to film has really been difficult for me to prioritize. But I'd like to either try a monthly or like a quarterly format. But we'll see. I'm not gonna put any like pressure on myself to do anything I'm not really fully 100% committed to. So if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, that's fine. You might see me again next year doing this for 2025. We'll see. I'm thinking I might do an everything I spun this year and just talk a little bit more about my wheel, my e-spinner, some of my spindles, as well as some of the fiber I've done this year. If you're interested in that, let me know. And then that's it. Let me know what your favorite make that I did was in the comments. Leave a thumbs up. If you got here, I don't know. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great 2025. Bye.